on the air?
Yes.
Good morning. Y'all wake up now. It's ATV time. Armwood television time. I think it is. This comic strip started in 1919 and has been published continuously without interruption 365 days a year for 70 years. And that's 2 or 3 strips. These are Sunday pages that were done 1960. This is 30 years ago. See, they're all in, the proofs used to come in color. But the comics, the comic pages we do now aren't quite as big as they used to be. Now, pardon me, there's just a little bit of space for the comics. And we do the best we can with the space we've got. And these are daily originals.
It's a lot.
There's Snuffy out there with the hogs. Do you read Snuffy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Oh, you do? Well, I was going to say you have to leave if you didn't read Snuffy. Here's Snuffy's coming in. He says, me and the fellers are playing cards over here tonight, Ma. And she's on the floor laughing. She says, ha ha, then I won't have to tidy up. He's got a bunch of rowdy-dowdy friends. Now, this strip here appeared December the 29th, 1989. But I don't know if it'll show up on the camera or not, but this lettering is pasted down.
Mm-hmm, I can see it.
Can you see it? It's pasted down on there, and it is done on a computer. I designed the font and had a fellow translate it to a floppy, and now whenever I do my strips, I use a computer to write my copy. So then when I get it all written and everything, we spray the back of it with sticky stuff, put it down, cut it out, whap, bam. Don't have to hand letter anymore, which I did for 50 years. Now let's move into the fun room, shall we? Okay. Here we are here. I have on my Uncle Fred glasses. The reason they don't have any glass in them is because I can't see anything. I really can. But it avoids the glare from cameras and all the flashing lights when I go to Hollywood. Okay, now we have a young lady here who's going to draw in color with Uncle Fred. Now, when you look there at the camera, you see where the camera is? Do you know how to stand in front of the camera? Okay, turn around there and look at the camera. Smile pretty. Show both teeth. Oh, that's good. Now, Julie, we're going to draw and color with Uncle Fred. I'm Uncle Fred, and you're Julie, right? I did my first comic in the 3rd grade. It was called Baseball Hits. And it was published in the Seminole Searchlight. That was a mimeographed paper we had at the Seminole Heights Elementary School in Tampa. That's the start of my fabulous career. And I did posters and did things like that in high school, you know, junior high and high school. And then I did a poster in Tampa for the Chamber of Commerce when I was 17 that it was for the jamboree that the Chamber of Commerce used to have at Palmacia Golf and Country Club. It was a pretty big poster showing all kind of funny little cartoons in it. And Billy DeBeck was at the time doing Barney Google, the comic strip, which he started in 1919. This was in 1933, and he saw this poster that I made, found out where I was working. I had quit high school, which I wouldn't do now with all the promotion they have to stay in, I might have amounted to something if I'd have stayed in school. But I went to work for the newspaper, and I quit school and went to work for the newspaper and also for an advertising agency. And so I was working in this advertising agency when Billy DeBeck called, and he said he'd like to see some of my work. And he was living over in St. Petersburg at the time, so I took my work over and showed it to him. And to make a long story short, I got a job with him as his assistant. And I worked with him until the war came. And then I went over to Africa with Pan American Airways as a flight radio operator. And then I came back. Then I wound up at the Leatherneck magazine in Washington, D.C. as a cartoonist. And I wrote articles and did covers and all kinds of cartoons. We published 3 magazines a month, had a large staff. We did 2 overseas editions. A lot of it was training work, you know, about mines and planes and I don't know, all kinds of things that are involved with the military. Billy DeBeck had died in 42. I took over the strip in 45, the dailies and the Sundays, and I've been doing it ever since. 45 years. I did the dailies for a couple of years there. I was able to do those. But it's a very rewarding profession. I enjoy it, and I still look forward to turning my work out. It's highly competitive. There's new strips coming up all the time. It's rather unusual for a strip this old to have this many client papers. We run in possibly 900 papers throughout the world and in many different languages. I don't know, I can't read Snuffy in a lot of the languages it comes out in, you know, Swedish, Nufki, Smoshki, and I don't know.
They find this humorous in like other countries?
Oh yeah, we've got a lot of fans in a lot of the countries, the foreign countries, you know. It runs in down South America and Mexico. And translation of a dialect type of a strip, you almost have to, it's an art. You have to know the 2 cultures fairly well. You know, it's not a literal translation or they wouldn't get it at all. There are all kinds of opportunities in the cartooning field. Not only comic strips, the daily paper comic strips, but we also have animation. And they're still doing an awful lot of animation all over the world. But anyone that is interested in following cartooning, the libraries have books of the field that is open. And a high school student that has a drawing that he thinks is funny and his Aunt Bessie thinks is funny, he can pack it off to a syndicate or something that handles these things, and they'll let you know whether they like it or not. And you might be rich and famous and as handsome as Uncle Fred.
Well, thank you for letting us share your time today.
Well, I'm very happy to, maybe one of these days I'll get out there and see what's going on. Be able to sit in one of the home rooms and laugh at myself.
You're always invited up there.
Fine and dandy. Well, it's nice to have you all come, and y'all come back sometime.
Thank you.
We have more time to visit. Okay, swell. Adios.